What's up, guys? Hope you're having a great day today. I want to do a video today to introduce you to me and the channel. This channel's been growing a lot since I got back to content creation back November of last year. We're around 6,500 subs right now, 1.5 million views, which is kind of insane to think about. And so I wanted to put a video out so you guys know why you should subscribe and what we're doing in here. So to start with, the name Steven's Vault comes from the fact that up until switching to this moniker, I was operating a gold and silver business online. This is what we got in for this week's sales, guys. A lot of buying this week. Got some more junk in, a little bit of gold, all sorts of bunch of different rounds in government, 1 ounce, more of these kilo coins, which are pretty cool. All sorts of cool stuff. Gonna be selling it all on the live tonight and tomorrow night on Instagram. See you there. Doing it primarily through social media with some shows, eBay, other stuff mixed in there as well. Hence the idea of this being my vault, meaning this is you're inside my personal space, i.e. you are going to be exposed to everything behind the scenes inside my thoughts. And with that, I think it's fair to comment that I am going to be a real YouTuber, a real commentator, and somebody trying to focus the attention onto common sense and unity. A big inspiration for me taking this shift is what I was seeing happening around political commentary especially, but commentary in general and social media influencers in general. The screaming, the yelling, the hyperbolic attitudes.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down. And she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security.
If they repealed birthright citizenship, his wife wouldn't be a citizen anymore.
I will literally shoot myself with a gun if you...
While it's great for clicks and thumbnails, it's not really great for anyone's mental health, and it sure isn't great for bringing together the country in unity and a path forward. While I'm not grandiose enough to think I'm going to play a huge part in that, I think it is a worthwhile measure to play even a tiny part in that process of sharing common sense, having open dialogues, and going over interesting things with my community. So if that is the kind of thing that you would want to be part of, then it sounds like you have found a good home here. I've never intended to do YouTube before and never really tried to make a successful channel up until just a few months ago when I went about this venture. I had used YouTube some for posting content from my bullion business, more long form videos to help out my customers, which I primarily was working with and attracting through TikTok and Instagram. But those platforms, you were very limited on how long the video could be. And so I put up more long form content here on YouTube so that they could have some of those longer educational pieces. You can still see those videos on this page if you want to go back and you're interested in gold, silver, bullion. And I will still continue to talk about gold, silver, bullion, the bullion industry, the financial markets, and all that kind of stuff here and there as well. What's important to know, though, is this venture is basically starting from scratch. For any of you that have heard me talk about my previous influencer accounts and my previous business and stuff like that, you know that it was largely shadow banned or directly banned across platforms, along with the business name being debanked and rampant attacks from the federal administration we had at that time. They launched a suppression campaign known as Operation Chokepoint 2.0, which built off of a Obama era suppression campaign called Operation Chokepoint. The main new addition for 2.0 was crypto, but Chokepoint already included bullion dealers, payday loan places, firearms dealers. The basic idea is businesses that could allow you to break away from the federal government arm of control and the central banking system. Things that I spoke out very much against, which is exactly the type of people and businesses and influences that OCP2 was designed to target. So I've had multiple accounts canceled, had all my bank accounts closed, all of my credit accounts closed, everything else for that business, not by my will or desire, but because of no reason, apparently. The posts and stuff that have gotten me taken down are fairly comical and have lost me monetization on platforms, and everything else aren't anything anyone would find offensive, especially not with the other type of stuff you can see on social media from monetized accounts and non-banned or shadow banned accounts. But nevertheless, that was a sign to move on and move forward. I still do a lot of reselling in my personal time, and I still buy and sell gold and silver. It's just not something I'm going to push on social media publicly because of that. Your boy's got to eat, okay? And if they close everything, then your boy can't eat. So hundreds of thousands of dollars lost, tens of thousands in lawyers' fees, and all sorts of other stuff during that time. Drained most of the financial security I had, but that doesn't really matter in the long run of things. And here we are going in this direction. As it stands right now, I edit and create all of my own videos from scratch. This is a one-person team. I'm the only one touching the channel right now. Maybe as time goes on, if the channel gets big enough and is making enough money, we can hire on people to manage different things like communities and moderation and editing and stuff like that. But right now, I edit all my own videos. I create all my own thumbnails from scratch. I do all of it. So, bit of a work in progress in some things. I'm educated in graphic design and have done that for a long time. I'm educated in sound engineering and have done that for a long time, but never really dabbled in video editing at all. Some of the philosophies are the same between sound engineering and video editing, so I've been able to pick up on some things rather quickly, but don't expect the best edited, cleanest cut videos, although I think I'm doing an okay job overall, and I've learned a whole heck of a lot. What I plan to cover on the channel is pretty simple. It's anything I find interesting that I think opens up a thought-provoking conversation. That can be political stuff, that can be investigative journalism, that can be music, which I've been doing a lot of music reactions lately because I've been turned on to a couple really good artists that make a lot of thought-provoking and conversation-provoking music. That could mean talking about, drama in the influencer sphere or in the gaming world or in sports or whatever else. I actually do have a bit of a journalism background, and just from a, schooling level, never worked professionally as a journalist, but I did take journalism and I wrote for the school paper, and I used to actually have a sports column called Stepping Out of Bounds that covered somewhat of the same stuff. I wrote thought-provoking opinion pieces in that column about things that were happening in the world of sports that people were very split on, and tried to find common ground and commonality on what is the real story in that situation and why people feel the way that they do. So in that sense, I hope to do a lot of the same with this channel. If you're someone that likes your curated bubble and your echo chamber, you're probably not going to have that great of a time here. I'm just being honest. I'll watch opinions that I disagree with. I'll watch opinions that I agree with, and you will likely agree and disagree with my opinion vastly on multiple times. The point isn't for us to dance around in a circle and tell each other how smart we are. And the point isn't to scream and yell into the microphone and make a mountain out of every molehill, which is very popular in content creation nowadays. No, the point is to share stuff that I come across that I find interesting, that hopefully you guys will find interesting too, and have a conversation with it in the video, sharing my take and my opinion. You guys can share your takes in the comments, and we can all come together and have conversations and find commonality and truth rather than just yelling obscenities at each other. I think this kind of content is much more needed nowadays and doesn't seem to be the type of content that the algorithm wants to push. Maybe intentionally, maybe not. But that's what I'm here for, so if you'd like to join me, you can subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, I got channel memberships starting at just 99 cents. We don't have any sponsors. I don't plan on having any sponsors anytime soon. If something comes across my desk that I think is a fair and not like misleading corporation, then I might be open to sponsorships and stuff. But generally, you got to have a much bigger following than we've built thus far for those type of things. So this channel will be 100% supported and propped up by you guys. If you guys see value in it, if you guys watch the videos, comment, join the subscriptions, send in tips, then the channel can keep going. If not, well, then likely I'll move on to other things if this ain't paying the bills. I'm not asking everybody to agree with me. I'm not asking everybody to let me win or come to the same conclusions I am. I'm just simply asking everybody to come with open ears and a curious mind. That's how I try and approach things. And so I hope you will too. To dive in a little bit more about me, I've lived kind of an unusual life in many ways. I've hopped around careers several times. Motives and desires have changed. I talk about this frequently in my videos, but just to give you a brief overview, I've been in the psychology field, focused on forensic psychology, worked a long time in the sales field and even longer in sales leadership, leading all the way up to upper management, being an executive level in a Fortune 100 company. In my sales career, I've ran my own small business, gold and silver, and I've done reselling ever since I was about 16 years old, buying things from flea markets, garage sales, whatever, and flipping them online for money. I actually started my previous business when I was 16 years old. That name, that entity was originally not just gold and silver. It was all sorts of stuff, which is kind of what I'm doing in the background right now to supplement any income I'm not earning on YouTube. I've traveled a fair amount of the US and our continent as a whole. Haven't gone overseas though, so no, I don't have first-hand knowledge on how you guys live over there in Europe, and I don't really judge people upon meeting them, so most people feel open to talk to me and chat with me and share their perspectives on the world, especially in person. I don't know online. I guess we'll see. I consider myself Christian, but if me saying that makes you shake in your boots, then I would check out my Dear God video for a full explanation of what exactly I mean when I talk about Christianity, because just like anything, there is a lot of different definitions to what every religion believes or every philosophy thinks. As many of my leftist commenters will tell me when I make assumptions about the left that seem common sense to me, but they correct me that those beliefs are not actually left-wing ideology. So labels can be tough with anything, and you shouldn't be disliking and hating people simply because of a label. If you've made it this far into this video, I would hope we could agree on that point. Politically, I lean more conservative when it comes to how the government and financial system should operate, and lean much more liberal, borderline libertarian when it comes to social issues. For the most part, I generally think the government should let people do whatever they want, as long as it's not hurting other people. And I think the federal government should be as small as feasibly possible, and states should run social services and things like that. That is the basis for my political beliefs, those core values. And before all the Europeans jump in and say, your state couldn't run social services, most of our states are bigger than the country you're in that runs those same social services. So they absolutely could. My state has like as many people and is geographically bigger than your entire country. And your country has those. So that doesn't really work out. So anyway, the TLDR is if you're coming to this channel looking for the same thing over and over, you know, music reactions, political reactions, reactions to a particular person or topic, then you might be disappointed because my interests will ebb and flow, and what I think will spark conversation and I find interesting will ebb and flow just the same. I may go through a few months where I do a bunch of music reactions like I have been. I may go through a few months where I'm diving into a particular podcast clips or something like that. I may do a few months where I'm diving into a particular investigative journalist. That's kind of how the flow of the channel is going to be. And I know that may not be the best to boost the algorithm and make the numbers as big and make the arrow go up nonstop, but that's not really what I'm concerned with. All I really care to do is get this channel to a level where it can be sustainable income for what my family needs, which is fairly modest. And then I'm kind of happy if the channel stops growing at that point and we can just have a community where we can discuss these things. I don't need to be the next big YouTuber. I have no desire to become famous or speak at the RNC or DNC or CPAC or something like that. God, no, please don't. I don't want any of that heat. I'm good. So hopefully this helps. And if you have any more questions about me, the channel, or anything else, I'm planning on doing an AMA video soon. Feel free to drop them in the comments. And as always, big shout out and thank you to our supporters. Thank you to our channel supporters. Channel membership starting at just 99 cents. If you want to help support the channel completely for free, make sure you're liking, commenting, and subscribing. Top commenters for the month will get shout outs here along with donos and channel members. Thank you guys for the support, and make sure you're joining the channel if you want to get access to videos early and exclusive emojis. Otherwise, guys, let's get back to work. Keep praying. I'll see you in the next one.